Gatsby here to talk about a card game from Bandai.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The card game marketplace is notoriously difficult to break into due in large part to the absolute stranglehold of the big three. And when tasked with finding a way in, healthy or not, Bandai made the decision that if they can't take on the big three directly, they would instead take multiple slices from the remainder of the market. With Dragon Ball, Digimon, One Piece, and those two other games, the market strategy of releasing a new game what feels like annually and occupying as much shelf store space as possible with eerily similar games has been a successful enough strategy. And moving into 2025, Gundam is the next IP Bandai decided to make a card game for, likely due to the explosive popularity of their two tomato lesbians. The GCG, or Gundam card game, is Bandai's most recent attempt to understand printing enough product to meet demand. And after running a handful of games with the beta set, I wanted to talk about it here, because despite the patented Bandai card game gameplay loop being about as original as calling your game the Gundam card game, I left the table with an immediate understanding that this game could legitimately find success with players not already knee-deep in Gunpla runners and Gundam merch. So for this video, I'll provide a quick run-through of the basics, followed by some opinions of the gameplay from the beta set, and end with my hopes for the future. So without further ado...
Gundam, Daichi ni tatsu.
Currently, there are 4 colors, green, white, blue, and red, and the deck building restriction allows 2 of any color per deck. Setup is pretty straightforward. Start with a hand size of 5 from a deck of 50 with 4 cards to a playset. Set your Dawn, place 5 security off the top, and add a 3 HP EX base to the board. The player going second gets a temporary resource that, when tapped, is removed from play. Currently, there are 4 card types in the game with units, pilots, commands, and bases. Units are placed into the battle area with summoning sickness and are able to declare attacks on other exhausted units or shields. Pilots are used as upgrades for units, while command cards can be used to collect a one-time effect, and in some cases could instead be used as a pilot. And lastly, bases protect your shield pile, and they can be used to access cards in your shield pile, while also providing additional effects either on deploy or activation through spending additional resources. To play cards, the number of resources you currently hold define what level you are. This includes the temporary resource for going second, which allows you to play cards up to that level for cost notated at the top left of the card. And that's really all you need to know to start playing right out of the box. Similarly to Star Wars Unlimited, the deceptively easy to pick up and play gameplay is met with a skill ceiling that can be deceptively high due to From the first announcements of the game focusing on pilots and units as game pieces, my biggest concern was always this. How do you make gameplay satisfying when you match your named character in their signature suit without making it feel like a complete blowout if you somehow manage to secure both of them right out of the gate? The answer surprised me because it ended up being the cornerstone as to why I think this game deserves more attention. As previously mentioned, units have summoning sickness. When paired with pilots, they receive upgrades listed on the pilot. However, in cases where the pilot or trait is mentioned at the bottom of a unit, you can form what is called a link. Links provide the unit haste, and while on its face it doesn't sound like much, with Amuro in the Gundam variants, Hero in the Wing Gundam, Kira in the Strike Gundam, and Tomato in the G-Witch suits, you start looking at these cards less as a way to generate haste for a unit and more as an engine option. Deck building outlines begin to form that encourage you to play in a healthy way that focuses on the link mechanic without it becoming too overbearing on the gameplay. Yes, Tomato wants to pilot the aerial, but the stat line provided in effect are good enough that even when you don't have aerial or Darrow Blade, it still feels good to play on a gun tank. If you walk away from this video with nothing else, let it be this. I think the link system creates an interesting space for gameplay design, and I can't wait to see how they build around this system in the future. Speaking of which, let's talk about the future. It's already been confirmed that Purple is coming down the line, and as somebody who only ever played Purple in the Digimon TCG, this is good news. It provides me with enough time to consider if I'm actually going to play this game, and it provides Bandai with enough time to consider if they're actually going to print enough product so that I can make that decision for myself. That said, if there's going to be a single thing that I would like to see implemented in the GCG, it would be Bandai, come on, we got Jawgrass and Digimon, please for the love of all that is good, I need it added to the GCG. To me, an indicator of how successful a card game is going to be is how much design space is there to be creative, and in the realm of mecha, I can't imagine we don't capitalize on at least a few mecha tropes. We already have pilots that double as commands. What about units that double as pilots? Early bases are just showing 5 hit points. How long until we see some attack points listed? How long until we get a fatter base? With only 4 colors and card types, there's quite a bit of room here, and it leaves me very hopeful for the future of this game. The Gundam card game is pretty fun, and if you're looking to play it, I'd highly suggest Tabletop Sim, as the one-sided beatdown I'm currently receiving shows you exactly how much time and effort has already been put into making this very accessible for interested players. The one and only complaint I'm going to lodge here is the elephant in the room of every single early Bandai card game discussion. Product is almost completely unavailable, with the demand so high that it's led some shops to host local events suggesting players just print proxies, and some official tournaments that require official prints only, allowing demo sets to be counted as legal copies due to print availability. This has a lot of people upset, myself included, as it was one of the core reasons why I lost hype for Digimon during early printing. But personally, I really do hope this game finds its place, probably because it hits all the same beats as the Digimon card game did for me back in 2020, as a low skill floor, high skill ceiling card game attached to a brand I'm nostalgic for. But that was 2020, and there was good reasons why it was hard to find Digimon product at the time. I understand that Bandai wants to continue cornering the market on being the 4th most relevant card game with 7 different slices, but when you see Bandai juggling all of those games, it does make you a bit nervous to pick one up as it's released. As of 2025, One Piece, Digimon, and supposedly Dragon Ball, but I've never actually seen anybody playing that, Bandai has found a market for these games. But it's just that I dread to think about how unfortunate it would be for the Gundam card game to not even have its chance to shine due to lack of attention and the Bandai patented early supply chain issues that we've all come to know and quietly accept.
Wealth and glory